couple of years ago, they did make some changes on how they determine what groups would receive those allocations, and they have different metrics that they go through on their committees. I'm sure Commissioner Mays could probably speak more in depth as to what all that process is, but there's a number of groups, and Vallejo and Family Service and Guidance, and in addition to Keep America Beautiful, that has seen changes to some of their funding. And so I know that this is something we're concerned about, as some of these organizations struggle as it is. The additional amount that we would be looking at, going from the 45 to a higher amount, I'd be interested in knowing more about how that would impact Keep America Beautiful, or what they would be able to do with that.
Well, I think currently they've kind of taken a little bit of a new role in the information that they provide for the storm drainage licensing, and maybe Felicia, she's still here. Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Felicia McKee, Keep America Beautiful. Our current budget is $60,000, and that's really operating on a shoestring. We are struggling, and the only way that we will survive in the future is to drain the reserves that we have built up through the years with fiscally conservative spending. So right now, actually, we're slated to go out of business in 3 years if we don't have additional funding added. We haven't let down as far as what we do, and we're adding new programs, new features every single year. A lot of things that we are planning next year include cleaning up of boat ramps and additional efforts in the outlying areas, as well as continuing the waterfront efforts that we make to help with the requirements for the stormwater permit for Shawnee County.
What kind of information do you give them that you provide?
Actually, it's not so much information. We just finished working on a spreadsheet for the 4-year plan. It comes down from the EPA and through KDHE, and these are requirements for Shawnee County. And I don't really know the process. I was just helping with the steps that are required to reach the points that are going to be required in the future. And we provide about 25% of those things, which include street cleanups, water cleanups, things like that. It's things that we do automatically, that if we didn't provide that, Shawnee County would have to find a way to replace those points.
Thank you. Now, Commissioner, yes, that information you're providing is just for the county residents. That's not for the city of Topeka. What you're addressing is that if Keep America Beautiful was not doing it at Shawnee County would not be responsible for the entire report for the city of Topeka, would they?
No, I believe it's a totally separate report, and I think they're a different class, and so they all have the same. Well, I don't know that. I don't know how many points are required for the city permit. I didn't take a look at that one, but I was just working primarily with Matt Massaro with the Shawnee County stormwater permit through the NPDES group.
Mr. Nehan, you might.
Kurt Nehan, Director of Public Works. As we go forward with recycling, I think Keep America Beautiful will be an important partner as we educate the public about the importance of recycling, and we try to clean up our recycling stream. So I think Keep America Beautiful going forward is going to be an important partner as we try to continue this recycling program in Shawnee County.
I guess my only concern is that this is coming out of the operating budget from solid waste. Is that, is $10,000 something that is going to throw you guys off?
I'll be able to absorb this pretty easily going into 2020 with, it'll come out of my reserves.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Vote.
Yes. Was that a second?
No,
He already
I have
made a
a
second.
yes.
Okay. Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed?
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next item.
Item C, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider approval of request to fill the position of Noxious Weed Director at a salary including benefits of $59,280 and to fill any position that becomes vacant as a result of filling this position.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeremy Myers, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation. Before you, we are asking permission to go out and fill the upcoming vacancy of the Noxious Weed Director. As you may or may not know, John Wellborn is retiring in the middle of January, and we want to get ahead of this and make sure that that position hopefully does not sit vacant. We have worked with Human Resources and did a wonderful job of going out and updating the position description, asking area counties for their job description and just updating ours to meet the needs of Shawnee County. During my brief time here, I know I've learned a lot from John Wellborn and wish him the best, but we are looking to fill that position, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Excuse me, what date is he retiring?
We have it set for January 17th, 2020.
For 17th. And when do you plan on having the new person on board then?
It's going to be tight. Depends on when we get the applications and your approval to get out there, and hopefully this week we'll have the job posted and sent out to, do our due diligence and get it out there.
Well, it's an important position and one I think is required by the state of Kansas. So I know a lot of the farmers and ranchers rely a lot on our weed department for chemicals and sprayers, and so I would move that we approve. Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item. Thank you.
Item C2, consider approval of request to award bid to Mid-America Court Works for the repairs and resurfacing of 18 pickleball courts in Hughes Park at a cost of $53,000 with funding from the Excess Reserve Fund and authorization and execution of contract C451-2019 for same.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Libby, Parks and Recreation. Before you today is asking your approval to accept the bid for the pickleball courts at Hughes Park. Mid-America Court Works was the most responsive bidder. The actual low bid did not meet specification. We did meet with the vendors, and we met with the pickleball community because we wanted their input on how we were doing it and the concerns they had with the courts. And we feel very comfortable with Mid-America Court Works. We've actually worked with them. They resurfaced Crossover tennis courts about 4 or 5 years ago. We've got a good working relationship, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Is this just a resurfacing or is this crack filling?
Crack filling, they basically very detailed. If the crack is more than an 1/8 inch, I believe they widen it and fill it. There's, we learned a term called bird bathing where it's sloped, they'll fix that. Actually, we'll go in with 3 colors for the courts, and we'll get the input from our community on the actual colors they prefer on the courts, and we're real excited over this. So.
All right. Have a motion? Or any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item C3, consider approval of request for a project budget of $19,462.50 to replace approximately 600 feet of fencing and gates around the beach area at Adventure Cove utilizing capital maintenance 3R funds.
Morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent again, Parks and Recreation Department. At the end of the year, we took staff down to the Adventure Cove and did a very thorough walkthrough, and this was one of the items that stood out to us. We've got some serious issues with the fencing there. It's an aluminum. I have some photos here. Let me see if I can pull them up. This is an aluminum fence,
And this is the area we're talking about right here, the gold line, or the yellow line, both sides of the bathhouse, I guess you call it. Here's a few photos. You can see here, this is aluminum, and there's several spots where people have just, you can literally stand there and pull the bars apart. This doesn't meet our specifications. This is a fence that's on the back side of the cove, and this is how we access it to do maintenance and things like that. It's been broken, I believe, for quite some time. Again, you can see here where they're able just to widen the fence, sneak in. Another area where it's broken. So these in our minds are just safety and security issues that we would like to address before we open the cove up next June. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So this is replacement, not repair?
Yeah, it is replacement, correct. And we'll be going in with a vinyl chain link fence, black, which is what we spec out now for most projects.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item C4, approval of request to award bids to the following vendors and subsequent execution or agreements of drinking fountain purchase price lists. A, contract C452-2019 with Most Dependable Fountains, Inc. B, contract C453-2019 with Meaning Company. And C, contract C454-2019 with Dog on It Parks.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Boyd, Parks and Recreation. We went out and had extensive bid requests for basically every kind of fountain that we ever might potentially use. We received 3 qualified bidders. We went through those and determined which ones were the best ones for typically maintenance replacement and any special project budgets that we'll submit over the next year's time. So we're just asking you to approve these bids.
Any questions?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, John. Next item.
Item C5, consider authorization and execution of contract C455-2019, amending contract C211-2017 with Dawn to Dusk Disc Club, which allows for a 3-year extension.
Good morning again, Commissioners. John Boyd, Parks and Recreation. This is a renewal of the MOU with the Dawn to Dusk Disc Club. Basically, there's a few minor changes involved with that. They have a name change. We spelled out a few more things as far as what is required of them and us. Some potential expansion of the program to different parks, potentially putting in new disc golf courses at other areas as well. We do have Al McKellips here as the president of Dawn to Dusk Disc Golf. If you have any questions for him, we'd be more than happy to get him up here.
John, which parks does this contract pertain to? Is it like Crestview, the lake, and
Crestview, Big Shunga, the lake, and then the additions are the potential for Dornwood, Freedom Valley, Shunga Glen, and Shawnee North, potentially adding.
is Ripley included in this? Or not Ripley, Rice?
I'm sure it is, yeah, must be, yeah, I'm sorry.
These other parks, would the potential be for like 9-hole type settings or a full 18 or?
Yeah, it depends on how it works out. We're having a discussion about Shunga Glen right now, potentially doing a 6-hole course there, just because that's about all we can squeeze in there.
Any questions? I move that we approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Thank you.
Item C6, consider authorization and execution of contract C456-2019 memorandum of understanding with Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library to extend MOU 1 and MOU 2 through December of 2021, allowing for continued support of programming and services in community centers.
Good morning, Commissioners. Susan Fowler, Hensler Parks and Recreation. Since 2012, we have collaborated with the Topeka Shawnee County Library to have computer labs at our community centers. This agreement that we'd like to continue today has the library. They provide the equipment. We provide the place and the internet connection for that. We do share a technical and service support from the library for that salary. This has been a great program for us at the centers. We have over 10,000 sessions used at the centers every year by the public. Some of these sessions are the youth doing their homework after school and on weekends. We have adults that come in, do online classes, they check their emails, their social media, they work on resumes, apply for jobs. So it has been very beneficial, and recently we've had people coming in to watch the commission meetings on them to make that available to them too. So we do appreciate that our IT department helps us with this contract and assist in making sure that everything is working for the centers, for us too. With us today is Thad Hartman and David King from the library. They'd be happy to answer any questions, and I'd be happy to answer any you have.
I know this is an important function for a lot of people who do not have access to computer. As you know, when you apply for jobs now, it's all done on computer. If you don't have access to computer, you can't get a job hardly. So you know what the hours are generally that people could access these computers?
Most of those hours are whenever the center is open, so pretty much starting 8 to 9 in the morning until late evening. They're available up until the classes and leagues close. Sometimes that's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, so they're open all that time. And I will say, too, that we're happy that this year we get to add the Shawnee North Community Center to the availability of the computer lab.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item.
Item D, Public Works, number 1, consider approval of a request to award bid to Metal Culverts, Inc. for the purchase of metal culverts and sections for use in 2020 at a cost not to exceed $60,000, with funding from various accounts dependent upon specific location of use.
Courtney House, Director of Public Works. Please bear with me on my raspy voice. We received 2 bids for metal culverts, one from Wellborn and one from Metal Culverts Incorporated. As part of the bids, we asked for prices on almost 300 different pipe sizes, pipe type, gauge thickness, corrugation size. Just for an example, we asked for prices on round pipe, arch pipe, gauge thicknesses from 8 gauge to 16 gauge, corrugations of various sizes, and pipe diameters, for example, on round pipe, 12-inch to 120-inch. So both vendors provided prices for those different sizes and types. The best overall bid was from Wellborn Sales because of all the individual prices, 78% of those prices, Wellborn provided the lowest bid. But nothing's ever real simple. Metal Culverts Incorporated provided the lowest price on 73% of the end sections. So what we would like to do, best overall bid Wellborn, so we'd like to buy pipe from Wellborn, regardless of the size, shape, et cetera, et cetera. But we would also like to buy end sections from Metal Culverts Incorporated for those end sections in which they were the lowest bid, and for those pipe sizes that are not provided by Wellborn. So with that, I would be glad to take your questions.
Questions? I will move that we approve. Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next Next item.
Item E, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Hill regarding the purchase of $150,000 worth of fuel from Capital City Oil with funding from the 2019 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Daniel Outridge, Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. We are requesting to encumber funds from our 2019 budget to purchase fuel in 2020. We've worked with Audit Finance on this. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Move for approval. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next item.
Item F, Commission number 1, consider appointment of Jim Reiner to the Metropolitan Topeka Airport Authority Board of Directors.
I'll move that we approve.
Second?
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Craig Barnes, Health Department. Just a reminder again, I know I was here last Thursday, but I wanted to remind the public and the Commission today that the Health Department will be hosting its last free flu clinic of 2019 for uninsured adults. Again, this clinic is specifically for uninsured adults 19 years of age and older. It'll be Wednesday, December 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. At our 10th Street Clinic, which is 2115 Southwest 10th Avenue. With that, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lynn Lee from the Health Department. I just wanted to share with you this month's EpiServe. The CDC recently released the updated STD report for 2018, and unfortunately all the STDs, chlamydia and gonorrhea and syphilis, has gone up for the nation. And I wanted to highlight that in the report it talks a lot about the different diseases, but specifically I wanted to look at congenital syphilis. So for the last 5 years, congenital syphilis has gone up, and Kansas ranked 15 in the nation for the number of cases after adjusting for population size. And last year we had 8 cases of congenital syphilis, and we had 1 from Shawnee County. So I wanted to look at, well, what were some of the characteristics of the infants and their mothers. And so the CDC did conduct a case review from the congenital syphilis cases, and what they found was that about 70% of them had prenatal care, so about 30% didn't receive any prenatal care. And prenatal care is very important among many things, with providers providing education, smoking cessation, and other things. Screening is important during prenatal care. So of the women who had prenatal care, 30% of them received inadequate treatment of syphilis, and about 43% of them either were tested and never treated, or they were tested, but then they tested positive in the 3rd trimester, so towards the end. And I think the results from this study updated CDC's recommendation on screening recommendations. So, for example, every woman should be screened in their first initial visit. And so I think the CDC from this study has provided new treatment, new screening recommendations, and including that women with high risk should be screened in the 3rd trimester. The report also showed an increase in the cases among all racial groups, but what was interesting was that congenital syphilis was 10 times, the rate of congenital syphilis among blacks was 10 times the rate of congenital syphilis among white women. So last year we had 1,306 reports of congenital syphilis. It is the greatest number of reported cases in over 20 years. That resulted in 78 syphilitic deaths and 16 infant deaths. So a little bit about syphilis. There are different stages of syphilis. There's primary, there's secondary, and then if left untreated, it can progress to tertiary. And when you think about tertiary syphilis, you're thinking about some really serious outcomes here. We're talking about neurosyphilis, dementia, loss of eyesight, and so when it's passed on to children, it can then lead to, like the report said, stillbirths, infant deaths, etc. So I wanted to understand a little bit more about what was contributing to some of these trends. And so what I found was that the CDC had a report that talked a lot about primary and secondary syphilis. And so earlier I talked about the different stages. Primary and secondary syphilis is something that we track because it is the infectious stages of syphilis. And so for a very long time, primary and secondary syphilis cases and rates were highest among men who have sex with men. But until recently, primary and secondary cases of syphilis has started to rise among heterosexual men and women. And that is important because, as you can see, with the rise of primary and secondary syphilis rates among women, you also see a similar rise in the cases of congenital syphilis. Fortunately, in Kansas, we don't have a lot of cases compared to, say, California or Texas or Louisiana. However, you can see the similar trends here. And so I asked KDHE some time ago, earlier this year, about what were some of the contributing factors to syphilis. And the CDC had a report that talked a lot about the increasing percentages of heterosexual primary and secondary syphilis and occurring among meth users, drug users, and or individuals who are having sex with individuals who are using meth and or other drugs. And so I found it interesting because the analysis talked about how when you see an increase in drug use, you see an increase in syphilis transmission, and this is not unique to this time period. It was also seen previously in the 1980s and 1990s with the association with crack and cocaine use. The research basically suggests that drug use increases risky sexual behaviors such as inconsistent condom use, multiple partners, either over a lifetime or concurrently, and for people who are using drugs, oftentimes they have other social determinants such as poverty and unstable housing, lack of insurance, or stigma, fear of being found out, so they don't necessarily prioritize screening or treatment. And so these graphs here just, I wanted to just show you the trends in primary and secondary syphilis rates reported by male versus females. And so males in Kansas versus women, we do see higher rates overall. And then this second graph here is a comparison between the United States is the yellow line, the blue line is Kansas as a whole, and Shawnee County is the green line. And we do zigzag
a little bit over the last 10 years, but overall you can see this increasing trend, and our rates are higher than the state rate. Unfortunately, untreated syphilis may result in 40% of infant deaths, but we do have treatment, and it is effective 98% of the time. And so I think KDHE and the CDC really is heavily recommending providers incorporate the new recommendation of screening women early and then repeating screening at the end of their pregnancy. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I feel like I cut in front of somebody. Courtney House, Director of Public Works. Last Friday was the contract substantial completion date for our Southeast 29th Street project. Unfortunately, I'm not up here to tell you that the road is open to 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, but the contractor is getting very close. The only item of work remaining is chain link fence on the KTA bridge. Obviously, that has to be in place for public safety, especially those that are using the multi-lane path on the widened KTA bridge. There's a retaining wall on the north side of Southeast 29th Street, just west of West Edge Road, and the ornamental rail on top of that retaining wall has not been completed. And then there's a barrier on the south side of the Deer Creek Bridge that separates the multi-use path from the travelway, and that barrier has not been started yet. Likely, it would be in some degree of completion this morning, but when they were unloading the rail last Friday, they dropped some of it and badly damaged a couple sections, so it has to go back to the fabricator for either replacement or repair. So that is delaying things a little bit, but again, this barrier rail, this ornamental rail, this chain link fence is the last remaining item of work that brings us to substantial completion. And just a reminder to the public, that substantial completion applies to the portion of the project from KTA to Wittenberg Road. As we all know, from next year, next spring, we start from Wittenberg Road and work to Cocoa Road. Any questions? Thank you.
Well, Tim Lorette, Parks and Recreation Department, I had a joke all set up about there being no good segue from a syphilis discussion to anything else. I wanted to, we have our state Parks and Recreation, Kansas Recreation and Parks Association conference coming up in the first week of February of next year. And as part of that, as we lead into that conference, we nominate staff and other folks for different awards. And I'm happy to announce today that we nominated Commissioner Cook for Distinguished Elected Official. And this is, I mentioned, it's a statewide deal, and Commissioner Cook won. So we're very excited about that. So we'll be on the hot seat, like I said, at the conference, so get to get up and maybe say a few words. But we do appreciate everything that you do for us. The entire commission, honestly, is very, very supportive. But we really appreciate your efforts and look forward to seeing you at conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone from the public like to speak? I was derelict in my duties earlier today. I didn't introduce my fellow commissioners. I'll take that, I'll do that right now. On my right is Commissioner Cook, representing District 2, and on my left is Commissioner Mays, representing District 3. Commissioner Cook, do you have anything to add?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Mr. Mays. The only thing I did, last Saturday, I was at Old Prairie Town, helped out with their holiday happenings event, and it sells out every year. It's a great event, and had a good time. Ran into some old friends, and it was just a good event. So that's all I have in that regard. Next item.
Item 6, executive session.
We do have a need for an executive session. I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session for a period not to exceed 15 minutes to discuss the acquisition of real property, specifically for county operations. No action is expected at this time.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. We are now in executive session. Okay, we are now back in session. No action was taken at this time, so meeting's adjourned. Do they need to sign any of this?
No, this is just, it's all contracts this
Oh,
time.
you do.